Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's SEO Q&A session. And we're here to answer any SEO-related questions, digital marketing related questions that you might have. Please do put your questions over in the chat. And if you can, do check out the sponsor, Niche Website Builders. Link is below. Offer a wide range of different services when it comes to affiliate marketing, whether you want content for your website, a full website build, or bits and bobs of other things that you might need along the way, then you can check and see what they've got and see what might suit you. Always worth a look. So do check them out. The link is below. Chris Palmer, not on again. I'm not sure what's going on with Chris. I have messaged him, and hopefully he's just caught up in a call. But I'm not so sure. Not so sure. But I'm here to answer any questions anyway. Hopefully Chris does come along. He's got the link and he's got what he needs to be able to come on. So we shall see if he's caught up or whatever it might be. But that doesn't stop the questions. Put your questions in the chat. Please do give us a like and subscribe and let us know what questions you've got, and we can answer as many of them as we can in the next hour. And hopefully be able to give you some form of value. Just making sure I have sent Chris. You've got me doubting myself. Yes, I have sent it. So you had me doubt myself there, live F1 fan. So yeah, let me know who's there, who's listening, where you're from, all that kind of stuff. And you've got the ticker along the bottom giving you a niche website builders for anyone that wants to check out Niche Website Builders. I can never get that hand thing right, which is a pain, but hey. Very, very quiet. Oh, Harry Minge is here. Long time no see. I was going to say they just both popped through at the same time. Darren Muzzy is here. And who else is there? And give us some of your questions. People are starting to pile in now. It's always a slow start. But if you've got anything to ask, please do. Carlos McKenna, long time no speak, mate. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Just looking at your picture there. You look as if you're somewhere sunny and drinking an alcoholic beverage, which is always good. Lex Gabriz. How's it going, Lex? Good to see you over here. Make sure you click the link in the bio so Craig gets the credit. So yes, I do not get any affiliate commission from Niche Website Builders, but it's always nice to know where people came from, whether it was my channel or social media or whatever it may be. So make me look important, guys. Get over there and click on it. And good to hear you're well, Carlos. What is happening? What are you working on? Where are you working? What are you doing with yourself? Can't remember the last time I spoke to you, actually, Carlos. Probably a good 6 months or so anyway, but hope all is well. And everything is good. I am just trying to stop that ticker. And then I'll come to your question, Harry Minge. So first question of the day. If you're buying many expired domains and adding several to one hosting account, is it important to buy an SSL certificate for the domain also? So with a lot of hosting companies, they will give you, it's called Let's Encrypt, and Let's Encrypt give you a free SSL certificate. So with a lot of hosting companies, you can get the SSL for free. However, there are certain hosting companies out there who do charge you for each and every SSL certificate that is out there. So it can rack up a hell of a bill. I think approximately in the UK, if you're buying one, it costs about $50. If you're paying for it for the cheapest one for a year, I'd much rather use Let's Encrypt. So just make sure your hosting is compatible. And yeah, if you're adding several to one hosting account, they should normally let you go into the control panel of each website and go to Let's Encrypt. It should have a little part there. So hopefully that helps you, Harry Minge. And Randy Roday, good to see you, Randy. So soon after our last conversation. Chris, I'm not sure what's happened with Chris. But I sent him the message at 1:45 and he's still not jumped on. So I don't know if he's jumped on a call or whatever. But yeah, as I say, don't know if he's busy. Fell asleep on a call. You know how it is business wise. But last week, I think he was still jet lagged, to be fair, and fell asleep. So that was last week. But Chris has been known to pop on halfway through a session. So maybe he's caught up with something. We always get caught up with drama in this game. A website blown up or whatever it might be. So yeah. But fingers crossed. Fingers crossed all is good with Chris and he does come along. He has the link, so let's see if he does appear. But in the meantime, keep the questions coming, guys. Harry Minge, Let's Encrypt. Yeah, try that out. Free's better than not. There might be other alternatives with hosting companies, but you will see a lot of hosting companies offering free SSL certificates as their unique selling point. So I would always be trying to angle angle that in. I'm just going to change my camera actually because I'm on the wrong camera. Live F1 fans still trying to figure out what that new YouTube trick is. I think I know, but I'd rather not say. Prefer to keep it a secret. Tell us, come on, tell us. I won't tell anyone. DM me, tell me what you think it is, and I'll just give you a straight yes or no answer. But if you think you know what it is, it's nothing. It's not something groundbreaking or anything like that. It's not something you're going to be like, whoa, why didn't I think of that? You'll not be, it works for sure, but yeah, it's just a couple of little bits. That's all I can say. I'm not going to give any more away, but don't be. Nah, it's not live F1 fan. Not doing that trick with the YouTube app on a Mac. Nothing to do with that. Way off the mark. Way off the mark. Randy is saying, great new show with Mark from Niche Website Builders. Looking forward to more. Thank you, Randy. It isn't only going to be Mark that's on. So next week, next Tuesday, 3:00, we're going to have Adam Smith from Niche Website Builders on. We'll get his take on it, on all things affiliate. And then we will start to go through certain people in their team and try and extract as much as we possibly can for you guys. See what they're up to, what they're doing, and they're very transparent. So I think we'll be able to get a lot of good information, a lot of good insights from the guys. So that show is on Tuesday, 3 p.m. every week with Niche Website Builders, who you can see up there. Nikhil, can Google detect if a backlink is earned or purposefully made, like profiles, etc.? I mean, obviously, no one can tell you a definitive yes or no. However, if I was Google and I seen like a profile made up just to slam on a link on a forum or whatever it might be, then I think that's a sure way for Google to detect that that's not really valid, that, it's kind of waste of time and all that kind of stuff. So I think, history, being active, engagement, all of these other things then come into play. So, using personas, fake profiles or whatever that are active, you have to do more is essentially what you need to be doing with these profiles. Can Google detect if a backlink is earned or purposely? Like the the profile instance is one thing. Can Google detect whether I paid you for a link? Can they detect that? The answer is no. A link is a link. Now, whether I bribed you with a beer, whether I gave you cash, whether I gave you whatever, no, they can't detect that. But obviously, Google over recent years have asked people to use the sponsored link attribute when it comes to links if someone has paid for it. And that's their way of trying to be able to detect whether a link was paid for or not and potentially discount it. But we don't want to be doing Google's job for them, right? So, there are people out there who will go out their way to mark that as a sponsored post or whatever. But in general, no one's doing that shit on a massive scale. And I think Google would be crazy to expect the world to do that. So I don't think they can. Next question, also from Nick Hill. How to beat a competitor who has over 11,000 links, 10k backlinks, domain name anchor, Google consider his name, entity, NLP tool, but on page is bad. It's a lead gen website with over 30 cities, but it's still ranking number 5. I mean, without seeing it, it's hard to say, but if someone's name is considered an entity, that's going to help. Someone having 10,000 backlinks that are borderline, just going after his domain name and stuff could lead to a penalty in the future. 11,000 backlinks for some shitty little website with 30 city pages is a lot. And here is Mr. Palmer here, by the way, guys. So, Chris, why are you late? People are asking me.
Man, it's been busy. I actually lost track of time. I was talking with Liam, just talking with a client. I lost track of time. Dude, and I was like, I'm going to be there today, brother. I got you, man. I'm going to be there.
It's not good you finally came. I said to the guys, I'm like, you could be caught up in a phone call. I do shit like that myself. Like,
that's it.
Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I'll come back, Nikhil, to answer this question. A couple of weeks ago, I'm sitting and I was caught up in a phone call. I was caught up in this email, caught up in a whole load of shit. Now, I never normally miss appointments. Now, every day I check my appointments and say, right, I've got this guy at 1, I've got this, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm on the show at 5. I've got it all mapped out. Anyway, I get caught up in this shit, and then I get a message saying your hairdressing appointment's been cancelled. And I'm like, shit. Like, it just blanked. Like, I've just lost track of time. And I'm like, fuck.
That happens.
I had to phone my hairdresser. I'm like, dude, I am really fucking sorry. I don't even have an excuse. Like, I can't even tell you, like, my fucking grandma died or some other.
Nothing good. Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I forgot. Like,
time.
It's so yeah, dude, I'm getting there.
Especially when you're working. It's like, oh man, the time's up. I wasn't even done. I was like, man, I gotta go. Sorry.
But yeah, no, so I get it. But anyway,
I love coming on though. Everybody, don't. Yeah, I will definitely come as long as Craig will have me.
I was starting to think, is this bastard trying to just say fuck off, Craig?
No. Not you, man. You're my guy.
But Nikhil was asking, he's got a competitor. His name is considered an entity, his business name, according to the NLP tool. But his on page is really shit. He's got a lead gen website with 30 cities, and he's still ranking really well. Why does shit still rank, Chris?
Because Google can't read, and just yeah. So and two, like I think too, it's like there's a lot more than just having poop content, you know. So, and then if you look at the overall, like you're looking at, did you look at everything? Is he doing good across the board, or is he only doing good in very specific areas? Because you know, if they're launching thousands of pages, like I'm sure, yeah, he's doing great on some, but for the overall percentage, probably not. So, but Google can't read. That's probably the reason.
But I've seen things like that, you know, Nikhil, I've seen guys have came to me and said, Craig, can you tell me why this piece of shit's ranking? And you look at the website and you're like, it really
I don't know.
shit. Like, I don't fucking know. Google somehow have historically ranked this motherfucker or something, but sometimes just some garbage ranks. And I think, you know, even referring to the the guys who come on in the Tuesday show, Mike and Brad will tell you he shits out websites regular. When he says shits out, he means shits out some shit.
And he wins.
And he wins. So,
I'm doing that right now, actually. And it's, you know,
which is why I laugh at why I just laugh, because Brad's like, we asked him a question a couple of weeks back, and we're like, Brad, you know, with this helpful content update that came out, are you concerned for your websites? It's like, no, dude. Like, I believe that my pages are helpful.
Definitely.
to use.
That's all that matters.
It's what you determine to be helpful content. So
that's right.
That's quite funny. And by the way, Chris, something else, and then we'll go on to the questions. Obviously, we were at SEO Underground, right?
Oh yeah.
And I was telling the guys last week about the story with the strawberry daiquiri.
Oh.
So I'm like, yeah, Chris thought the guy was offering them up.
Yeah.
That was actually a guy that's in my mastermind, Strawberry Daiquiri. So he was somewhere else, and 40 minutes later, he says to the dude, where's my fucking strawberry daiquiri? And he went, I gave you it. And he's like, you don't fucking gave me it. And then all that shit came about. So when I was talking live last week, the guy from my mastermind was watching this show, and he was pissing himself laughing, messaging me. He's like, dude, that was my fucking strawberry daiquiri. So
it was good too.
But because we were sitting like, who sent over just Chris a drink? Like,
yeah.
Why is it being handed to Chris? I'm like, there could be fucking drugs in that.
Just before the dude said, do you want, he like looked at everybody, do you want a strawberry daiquiri? And I was like, I want it. I'll take it. And you're like, I wouldn't drink that.
Oh, did a random drink appearing at your table? No. But live F1 fan, just like iPhone, the Mac can bypass the detection that an Android or Windows OS would have, right? Maybe. So he's trying to figure out a trick, the YouTube trick, or a method that people might be using. But he's guessing, and he's saying, is it this bypassing through a Mac and all this stuff? But yeah, that's not something I've even considered. You doing any weird shit like that, Chris, for your YouTube?
No, nothing like that. No, I don't even know what he's going for with that. No, I'm not. Definitely not with YouTube.
Yeah. And it's something along those lines for sure. It's genuinely not. There's no Macs involved, unless you consider me using a Mac to do my shit. That is it. Where that particular YouTube thing crops up. But apart from that, Holly is using Macs and bypassing shit and doing her thing with her phones for GMBs and all that stuff. So you're certainly along the right lines in terms of what Holly's doing. for her local stuff. So there you go. Hi, Mohammed. Carlos, do you think mass page builders are worth it, or just build the pages yourself? So for you, Chris, your own website, are you using a page builder or just shitting out 30 pages or something?
Well, on one of the sites, we are, but no, not generally. And I think when mass page, I think like it's not like you're going in there and creating 10,000 pages, Carlos. You're creating 50 at a clip. 50, set them up, get them in there. Okay, a week later, maybe do another 50. Like it's still smaller batches. It's not like I'm just going in there and cranking out a bunch of pages because there's still indexation. Plus, when I launch that 50, not all of them are going to hit. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board, recreate that article, and reproduce. So I think there's still a process there. There's still work. I think it ends up equaling out, you know, for you, especially if you're not trying to hit like every single city in the United States or wherever you are. Focus on the primary keywords and go after those individually. It might not be worth it for you if you're not trying to go super broad. You know, like it's just why that learning curve, like just pay the money, get the high quality article for the keywords that you want and build out the content that way. It'll be better. Don't consume yourself with why if it's not needed.
Yeah.
Only because I know Carlos. Like I don't know if it's worth it for him.
So Carlos, good advice there. Paul Hogden, good to see you, mate. Darren Muzzy says, sup, Chris.
What's up, Darren? Good to see
you. Rampage Man recently released a Spanish version for the US region that shows 404 for non-US users because we already have a Spanish one for EU. Will I have issues with Google bots coming from other regions?
Well, why don't you just run a search and see? So they have, you know, browsing as. You can run as Googlebot and see what they see. So run a check and double check and see if there's an issue. And if there is, then address it.
Nothing else you can add to that. Nikhil is asking, are Google redirect links helpful? Helpful in what way, Nikhil? Are you trying to trick someone into thinking they've got a better DR than they have? Then yes, they could be helpful. Do they help move the rankings? Not for me, Chris.
No, I tried it. It boosts metrics, but I did not see a ranking increase. I individualized that as a test. It did not. It moved up one spot. So if say you had 5 sites sitting in a SERP, there's only a SERP with 5 results. And I built it to this one. It moved up one spot. And I built, I think 23 of them ended up going in. And they were all like DR70s, DR80s, like crazy links from Google. And I got one boost, like one little, but it didn't go up to the top. You know, I could build a Google Doc and it'll go to the top, but not the reader.
Even that little movement that went up, was that just because
that could have been a fluke? Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I literally seen jack shit from them. But again, I tried to slam them onto a website that it was an exact match domain name that I had from years ago that I hadn't looked at for about 5 years. And it used to rank really well, but I just wanted to slam some links at it to see nothing. The thing was still dead as a fucking dodo. So, yeah, I don't think they're helpful.
Dead as a dodo. Where do you come up with this stuff? Dead as a dodo. You're funny, man.
Dirk is asking, are you coming to Malta, Chris?
I don't know where Malta is.
Near Italy.
I don't think so. Why? What's going on?
There's an event over there mid-November. Conference.
I mean, if I get an invite, I might, if you know the guy, to have him invite me, and I could do that, maybe, perhaps.
I'm literally going to, you're going to Rockstars, right?
Yes, definitely.
I'm going to Rockstars straight to fucking Malta. And it's the same as like I went from Nashville straight to fucking London. I've got 2 events within the space of like 4 days.
When you get back, like when I came back, like that, you must have like a mountain of. Do you have a lot? Do you have to do then? It's like overwhelming. I almost didn't. I was like, oh, I won't do that again. It's just too long. A week off, like it's just too much.
A lot of catching up to do. It does take you a bit of time, but not even that. Just the jet lag and everything. You're fucked. Doing that, I don't care who you are, man. That fucking shit impacts you. Maybe it doesn't impact you, but it took me a week to recover from that shit.
Like first 2 days, I felt like I was just tired, but I can't sleep. The little guys like trying to power bomb me and stuff, like, then there's work. Like, it's just, it took a little bit to get back on track. That's for sure. It took me a while, 2 weeks, I think, to finally get back from one little trip. Yeah.
And Chris only done half of it because I was partying in Nashville as well. So I was half dead by the time I got to London, Chris. It was like I was like a fucking zombie, man.
Well, when I first ran into you, you were a little bit, not yourself. But then the next day, you were on. Yeah.
I was still fucked. I was literally bummed out, man. It's too much. Too much. But anyway, Rob Prosser, good to see you, brother. Nikhil with a question. I checked on-page score and in links. 100. It says it's 100%, but Page Optimizer Pro is showing only 50% score. Mm-hmm. Do you take these scores like literally as possible?
I personally don't. No, I think it's just a recommendation. So, that's their recommendation. And I'm sure you're looking to at a page of certain things that that move the needle on past experiences that you've had, right? Yeah. Like could be, hey, I know that if the top competitors have 10 headers optimized, then I want to have 11, right? Yeah. So like, I think you could take it into consideration, but not gospel. Yeah, no.
So would you be concerned that one showed 100% and one showed 50?
I would. Well, I think that their measuring metrics are slightly off. I would lean a little bit towards the Page Optimizer Pro side. If you're getting a 50%, there might still be a little bit more that needs to be done, just because I know what they're waiting in that tool. So you might, you can get it to 80 at least. Yeah.
I think I've always heard great things about InLinks. But I am also a massive Page Optimizer Pro fan, have been for a long time, since it first came out. So I'm more of I don't like to change shit that I'm using. So I'm not want to say go with one or the other. But what I would say is, use the guides to the best of your ability, but because someone says it's 50 doesn't mean it should be 50. It might be higher. From if I was analysing it, I might say I would give that an 80, but who cares what I say? It's what Google reward the page with. So you don't have to get it 100% before it goes live. Throw some shit up and re-optimize like fucking. That's what I would advise. So hopefully that helps you. Maggie Boy is here as well. Good to see you, Madge. Carlos said thanks. Nikhil is full of questions today.
Yeah,
Do you use... keep the questions coming, guys. Pile in all day long. We've still got 31 minutes, so boom, boom, boom. Do you use niche of the website where we get backlinks to decide if our website is about? Yes. Then edu links will not be helpful for most niches. So I think what you're asking is in terms of the relevance to the niche when it comes to backlinks. So edu wouldn't be helpful for a lot of things. But in my opinion, there's different types of links that you can get out there. Do they all have to be super relevant? No, you've got authoritative links. Edu it would tick certainly authoritative for me. But you don't have to have everything 100% niche specific. That's not a thing. You need to generate some power. It's why people do PR. Do we care about being in a news website? The news article can be about SEO or whatever you're trying to promote. And for me, that's enough. You know, and obviously I want to hijack the power of a high-profile PR. That's why we do it. So that's my take on it. But Chris, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think for the overall, like, let's just take Ahrefs as a barometer, right?
Mhm.
So do I think for the overall DR, can I utilize EDU in order to increase the overall authority of the site? Definitely, irrelevant of what the topics are. However, if I'm going to be spending or allocating a higher budget towards a specific page that I'm trying to rank, then you're darn right I want it to be in the topically relevant category. So like if all my top competitors are building in business and computer type topic links, and I'm going to go out there and spend $100 or $200 on a high quality link that's getting traffic, hell yeah, I want it to be on, niche specific for sure. But to the point that Craig said, all day long, I need the title to be optimized around the keyword. I need the H1 optimized, the surrounding words optimized, all the basics. So yes and no.
Yes and no answer. It's better than it depends, I
Yes.
guess. Guys, also, if you're watching, please do give us a little like on the video if you can. Dirk is saying, have you found an AI content tool for non-English that actually produces decent content? Non-English, remember.
I have not personally gone out to seek that. Deep, what did we start using? That Deep L, I think it's called, is what we've been using recently. It poops out some pretty cool stuff. I think that's what it's called, Deep M or Deep L. But you have to have an existing piece of content already. So I guess that's AI. I don't know. But no.
The problem probably for me, Dirk, the same with Chris, is we're probably not best to answer this, because even if it did shit out amazing Maltese, for example, I wouldn't fucking know what it said. Or German or anything. I'm a one language guy, which is bloody horrendous. So I couldn't even test that theory, because I wouldn't. You could give me anything, and I'd just have to hope that it was good. So
yeah, post it. And did it rank? Yes. All right, it was good.
But try that one that Chris says, Deep L or Deep P or whatever the hell it was you said.
Yeah, I think it's called Deep L.
Deep L. Hopefully that helps you, Dirk. Darren, going from WooCommerce to lead gen site, product category URLs, just redirect these to the same topic flat URL?
I wouldn't want to put in place a boatload of redirects unless there was some type of equity there. So like if there's a probability of equity loss, then yes. But do I want to have a boatload of redirects in place? Not necessarily. But if there's any type of link that I want to put in place, if I'm getting traffic to that page, most notably, do I want to serve that status code? Right? Do I want to throw on that? If there's traffic, yeah. If not, and no links, then no. I don't think it's worth muddying up the site with all those redirects.
Also, Darren goes on to ask, how many redirects are too much? Is like 400 okay, or is that still taking the piss?
Again, I don't think that there's a specific number that matters, but what I do feel that matters is that code isn't going to serve unless there's traffic going to the page, right? So depending if there's traffic running in, you can have infinite. If those pages have traffic and they need to be redirected, then they need to be redirected. There is no limit. But if there's no traffic and no links, then the limit is 0.
Chris Ole is asking, Google obviously released the October 2022 spam update today. What's your thoughts on it?
Didn't even know they did it.
I was expecting you to come out with some Googling it again or some fucking bullshit.
No.
I think the problem lies within the question here, Ollie, or not a problem, but when Google release something, they don't phone up Chris Palmer and tell him.
Definitely not.
They don't do that for anyone, and I think it takes time. So when an update comes out, is it something that just you flick a switch, generally not. Certain things happen, however they do it, which again no one knows. But I think it takes time to try and understand what caused an update, and we need to give it time and stuff. So I wouldn't expect anyone to be able to answer that question accurately in any way, shape, or form. Certainly not on an update that was released today, because what we have to do is look at, as an industry collectively, at a whole bunch of websites and see what we all fucking think was the problem. That's how round updates. But so I think anyone who would answer that and try to answer it with a legitimate answer would be insane. So yeah, sorry, Ollie. I didn't even know they'd done it either. But hey, it is what it is.
Well, it must not be. Well, I just went out to look at some of my most thoughtfully crafted content pages, and they're still doing very well. So it can't be too much of a spam update, because those are really bad, and they're working pretty good.
Rick in the Shah, thank you very much, first and foremost, for your kind donation. He's got a broad question. What effect has Google's crawling issues had on how you approach SEO? So do you adapt your approach, Chris, just with these issues? Or are there even issues? Are you seeing it getting better? Because I know someone like Omega Indexer apparently is working again. I've not actually tested it, but I think crawling and indexing is starting to get better again. I know there was a prolonged period of time where people were having problems, but
yeah, it's that's always, like, since I can remember, it's like always up and down, up and down. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. When it's good, putting out content. When it's bad, I'm stacking up content. So it's like it's of no effect. It's just part of the game. So just roll with the punches. It has no effect. It's just part of it. It's been factored into the overall equation.
I would agree, Rick, and I do not ever consider crawling issues. Just keep doing content, whatever else you're doing, links on page, whatever. Rinse, and repeat. If it's for you, it will happen. If you go back and check it 2 months later and nothing's indexing, maybe have a look at your content writer or something. Is what my approach would be. I'd be like, hey, what's fucking going on here? But it's not something I would actively try and push or adapt my way of thinking or way of working to suit. So hopefully that answers it. But what FAM marketing? Is Go High Level a good platform to build and expand your digital marketing agency? So have you played with it, Chris?
I have. It was not for me. However, I've talked to probably at least 4 different individuals that have, more than 20 clients, and they love it. It wasn't for me, but I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah. I have heard nothing but good things. I actually, if you want to, I think I had a chap called Bruno Souza on my podcast, who is an expert on that particular platform, and we were talking through that platform. Bruno has taken the time to show me the platform, what it does, and all that kind of stuff. I would say I was impressed with what it does, but I don't have 20 clients to run that shit for. But certainly having the ability to do SMS campaigns and all of that shit from within that dashboard and the cost of it, and I think it's why not? Why not? It's certainly something I would definitely recommend people to go and try. That's for sure. Obviously, not being an active user of it, I can't answer. Will it definitely expand your agency? But I was very impressed from what I seen with it, and I was just playing around with it, and that was a few years ago as well. It's probably even more advanced than it was then. So, always heard good things about it.
Sure.
Charlie, EDU would have a good domain authority for sure, Charlie. So Nikhil is saying he's impressed with POP pages showing 80% are ranking in the top 10, while pages with a score of 50 are not in the top 10. At least it gives you something to work with in terms of trying to achieve those 80% then. So if you're seeing that, I would be sticking with that too. That's all I would say.
Yeah, it's usually if you could get the content score to 100, the signal score should hit the 80. And then usually, depending on the overall authority of the site, those pages will perform relatively well, depending on the site, of course. You could have awesome content, but if you don't have the site or the authority to back that up, you're still going to have to sit there and wait. It stinks.
Dirk, you can keep us posted on how that works. Be curious to know if there is a resolution. But it would need to be a trusted resolution before I would start shitting out pages in Polish or something, because I couldn't tell the difference genuinely.
I have a brief question for you. Have you ever taken the content, translated it to another language, and then spit it out back to English before?
Yeah.
Okay. And then generally for the better results, which language were you putting it into first?
Swedish.
Interesting. Okay. Just curious.
Swedish translates back to English almost perfect.
But it'll give it enough of a variation that it will perform. Okay,
yes.
Cool. As I was trying German, I was like, man, this is not good.
Good. Go and try Swedish. You will come back to me and you will say, motherfucker, that is the one. That is the one. So try it, man.
Definite.
For sure.
Well, that can go either way with you. It's either going to come back the worst or the
no, dude. I promise you, it is the one. But Darren is saying, so if no traffic, then what do you do with those old URLs? Just let them die, especially after submitting a new sitemap. So can you just clarify, Chris?
So, you're going to submit the sitemap, and then you're going to request to remove those URLs. You could do that within Search Console. But that's it. You're going to ask to get them removed. You're going to update your sitemap. And again, if there's no traffic going to that page, then the status code of 404 doesn't exist, right? So don't worry about it. If they're not indexed, they're not going to get traffic. Like if they're not in the search results, they're not going to get traffic. And no one's searching for them. They can't trigger the 404. So that's how we take care of it. Update the XML sitemap and your HTML sitemap. And then on top of that, ask for removal. Call it a day. Job done.
Good job. Henry, question for affiliate sites. Does it help or hurt to disallow Go subfolder for tracking links in robots.txt? And do we use 307 or 301 for redirect?
So 307 is what? Location moved?
Yes.
Is that right? So location moved for the redirect, I'd go for 307. Location is moved. And then does it hurt to disallow Go subfolder for tracking? I'm not sure exactly what that means. Craig, what does that one mean?
I have no clue. I was hoping that you were going to be able to sort that one out. But does it help to hurt or disallow Go subfolder for tracking links in robots.txt?
Disallow Go subfolder? I'm not sure what that means. Maybe I'm behind on times. I'm going to look it up. Disallow Go in robots.txt. I'm not sure what that is exactly. What is robot? Okay, so that neither does Google. Doesn't seem to know either.
If you could,
yeah, just clarify briefly. Sorry.
Plumber Brookings Pro. How do you hire VAs? Do you also hire casually if someone has got some results and is willing to learn more in SEO and would want to work with you? Or do you hire when you need one? What do you do, Chris?
So I hire before I'm going to need it, or like when I know that. So like I talk to them very, very, very consistently. And when I feel the load is getting higher or I start adding more services, then we start hiring. And usually we'll hire 2 at a clip is what we've been doing. And one of the main focuses that I found is I don't want them to be technically sound in specific tasks that I want them to do. But what I need them to have is they need to be able to write and speak and understand English impeccably, right? So as long as they can do that, they can be trained on my system. So that's what I found that works best. Like I can't get somebody that already is a WordPress professional and then have them do my process because then they screw it up. So that's what I do. So I hire before the load starts picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just best. You're investing in yourself. It's $400. So yeah.
Not bad. So just a little add on to that question. Would you use someone who's willing to learn more in SEO and would want to work from you? Does that even come into consideration when you're working with VA if they like you and they're a fan of your work and want to learn more and you know they're going to fuck off eventually? Does that bother you?
Well, if they know who I am and they're interested in pursuing SEO as a career, or like if they're, I wouldn't want that personally. Like I'm not going to give up my process and my plugs. Like I'm not going to give everything that I've worked on and just hand it and then they learn the process and then they could run with it. And look, what I personally like is either young men or young ladies that are in school to do other things in their country and they have like a 2 or 3 month or 2 or 3 year run before their schooling is up. And they're looking for money while they're in school in the Philippines. That's what I'm looking for. Do you know English? Can you write it? Do you have an internet connection? Do you have a computer? Are you ready to rock? Do you want to learn? And do you have 2 years? Yeah. Okay. Come on. That's what I'm looking for. But if they know who I am or they have any type of, they want to like go succeed and do what I'm doing, I'm not showing them what I've learned. It took hell no.
Yeah, that could pose a bit of a problem. Nickel is asking, if I want to change content or add more words in the homepage as the on-page score is not good, would Google see that as a bad thing or does it not matter at all? So adding to your homepage, Chris, can that even be a bad thing?
Well, if it starts getting away from the primary topic, which is brand.
Yeah.
Right. So if you start diluting the page and it starts, veering into other keywords that you're having individual pages for, that could be an issue. Yeah. But if you're expanding on your brand and it's still topically relevant, then I don't see any issue with it.
No. So if you can add, whether it's your homepage or any other page, if you can add more to it to make it better, whether that's adding text, whether it's adding FAQs at the bottom, whether it's adding another subheader to target a wider bunch of keywords that are similarly related for that page, or adding a video or whatever, do it. Always try and improve what's there. So do not be scared to do it.
And dilute it. Build up those internal links off that homepage going to the primary service pages. Spike those internal links up from that homepage. You're massively helpful, my friends.
Rob is asking, how long will old URLs continue to show up in Search Console?
6 months, 6 to 8 months. I've seen them sit around. I know that link's dead. I quit paying that guy for that rental long ago, and that sucker's still in there. So 6 months, it seems. I never really watched it to see exactly, but I feel like 6 months or so, something like that.
There you go, Rob. Henry, it's the tracking link-based folder where we can select and plugins like pretty links for tracking an organization, like Go or recommended for affiliate websites. Disallow command in robots text. The robots blocks it from the crawlers. So would you want to block that?
On my site, I don't block that. No.
Why would you? Or disallow?
I'm just trying to think. Did we take time to go and do that? No, we did not. I'm not hiding anything.
Yeah.
You know. So, no.
I would be the same. It's not something I've even considered or thought of trying to.
Yeah, why are you but I'm curious, like, why? So why are you seeing that? Are top performing websites in your niche doing that? Like what is the purpose of this and why? I'm just curious. I mean, I can get the purpose, but why? Like, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
And Nicky, no problem at all, buddy. Always here to help if we can. Honey is asking, Jasper or Word Hero, which one is best in your opinion, Chris?
Neither.
Really? I like Jasper, man.
Well, okay, fair enough.
That doesn't mean it's the right thing. Obviously, you're entitled to your own opinion, but what are you using then if you're not using any of them?
DaVinci.
DaVinci. Cool. Fair enough. I mean, everyone's got their own way of working and how they figure things out, but I think Jasper gets a lot of you see people slamming it a lot. I don't think it's as bad as it's painted, but hey, that's just my opinion.
It's just like like why like if you're why would I pay for something that's being piggybacked off of something that is like, if I can go here and pay 2 cents, right, for the same 1,000 words, why would I give you 20?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. That's just my opinion. But what do I know?
So what is that called?
DaVinci. Yeah, it's OpenAI's model DaVinci. So what we do is take DaVinci and use a tool called Raiku to put custom prompts and train our own model based on content that's currently ranking.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get content feeded in the Raiku, I can create my own training model based on specific content. So say I'm in the lawyer space.
Yeah.
I can go and grab lawyer content that's performing well, or maybe even people also ask content, feed it into Raiku, and then I can actually then create highly specific and really good quality stuff. I mean, there still needs to be optimized and there still needs to be edits, but as far as Jasper price plus quality versus OpenAI's price plus quality, it's night and day. I mean, it's not even a comparison. Yeah. It's like a Honda versus a Lambo,
And no problem, Henry. Rob Prosser is saying page rewriter generally writes clean content.
And that's massively different. I think that's a spinner, right?
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Life changed.
Yes. I haven't used that in a long time, but I think a spin can still work, but there's still a lot of manual with all of it. AI, spinners, translating it. I'm still noticing, like, I wanted to just be the push the easy button, but there's still like you have to do work, it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
You still have to edit it. You still have to optimize it.
Tell us if there is ever a tool out there, guys, that does it all without any of this fucking around stuff.
Yes.
Because we're all lazy bastards. Was a one push button tool, it would be really fucking welcome.
Oh, those guys will be rich.
Yeah. Nikhil is planning to move to the Philippines and get admission into a school just to work with Chris. Chris is not in the Philippines though. So how does that work? Oh, you can still be his VA though.
Well, I hire from the Philippines, and generally, I shouldn't say this. I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, anyway. Sabiyashi? Sabiyashi? Yeah, that sounds more like it. What is the best free keyword research tool, Chris? Is there something that's free that's churning out good data?
Man, I've been so spoiled in the past couple of years. Man, I just use SEMrush, bro. I'm spoiled, bro. I'm so spoiled. Like my clients pay for the stuff. Like I have all of it. I have Ahrefs, I have Majestic, I have SEMrush. Like I'm blessed enough to be able to utilize these tools, and I don't go looking anymore. But at the time when I was doing that, like Wordsy was hot. I used to really like Moz's free deal. That tool, WordStream or whatnot. I used to like their data. You can always get a cracked version of that. It's an older tool. I forget what it's called. But it's like Samurai something, Ninja or Samurai.
Market Samurai.
Yeah, I used to like that. That was cheap and easy at the time. That's another thing I was using. I used to love that. It was dirt cheap. I was able to get it cheap. But I think like if I wasn't blessed enough to have clients that are paying for the accounts that I can utilize every day, I would just do group buy. You need to have that data. You need it. You need proper keyword research data. You know what I mean? Like it's mandatory, so go get a group buy.
Group buy is where it's at. But Chris, we are out of questions.
And I was enjoying this one today.
And I actually have a call at 6 as well with someone. So we need to cut off sharp tonight, guys. But we have answered all of the questions. It has been a whole bunch of questions. So we do appreciate the questions, folks.
Awesome.
Do check out Mr. Chris Palmer over on YouTube.
We have a new sponsor, I see.
New sponsor, Niche Website Builders. So check them out as well if you want bits of services or you just want to give someone some money to go away and build you a fucking affiliate website. You guys do it. So check them out. But most importantly, go and check Chris out over in Chris Palmer SEO for more information. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chris. And we'll catch you same time next week.
100%. See you next week. See you guys.